do you know under normal circumstances you are supposed to introduce the channel? Yeah, it's supposed to be in the short so that you can tell them about what you are doing today. Anyway, guys, today I have a new cameraman, so he actually came in with questions. He said we should do this thing called the first time, and I hope it has nothing to do with my personal life, because me personally I've done little in this life, because the previous videos I watched, it was about personal life of people. So I hope, but he said he promised it's strictly medicine, so, and I hope I would actually remember the first time I did the questions he's going to ask me. So I think we should start already just asking the question, but I feel like I have to still produce the channel the traditional way. So it's Gabriel here, and I welcome you guys to WAD. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do it to subscribe. Don't forget to click on the post notification bell to get notified anytime I upload video. And just like the video, just smash that like button. Yeah, the first exams I wrote in the medical school, well, if you guys are old over here, you could tell I actually came to the medical school very late. So it was a few weeks to the examination. So I remember it like it was yesterday. It was what they call biocell, yeah, cellular biology. So that's what I remember writing for the first time in the medical school. And yeah, that's what I remember. And I had no idea how it was, but I read a little around it, and I think I poured out my best. And when the result came out, I remember getting 9.9 for the biomolecular, yeah, molecular biology. Yeah, I remember. So yeah, I had instead of 10, because if you get 10, you would pass. So yeah, that was how my first exams was like. Well, I know where that question is coming from. You just want to check if I'm really dumb. Guys, I'm not dumb. So answering question in the medical school is rare, because the professor, they rarely ask questions because they feel like we know nothing, and so they are teaching us. But I remember there was this time that a question was asked. I think I can remember the question, and the question was about where does the vertebral artery, yeah, burst from, which artery forms that particular artery. So I remember I raised my hands up, and then I answered, and it was the clavicular artery. I don't know, but in French it's called artère clavière. Yeah, that's how it's called. So I remember vividly. But then trust me, those who attend medical school here in Morocco would agree with the fact that answering questions in the amphitheater is really tough, because you have a lot of people, and what if your answer is very wrong? I think that's where I had my confidence, because answering the question honestly was like I was not part of the class anymore, but then the people around me could feel it. They could see me answering the question. So I think, yeah, I think that's how I answered my first question in the amphitheater. Yeah, amphitheater. Yeah, I'm not dumb. So the first time I was embarrassed in the medical school, I think at this time, there were a lot of moments I was really embarrassed by for the first time. Yeah, I think it has to do with what we call the practical as well. Travel pratique, that's what they call it, a TP. So during travel pratique of neuroanatomy, the professor asked who can actually talk about the 12 cranial nerves and where they actually emerge from. So I raised my hands, and then in front of my colleagues, I was supposed to narrate all these things. So with the same confidence, I was ready to speak my French. So I quite remember the French was not actually coming. And then the first time I talked about this nerve, the first nerve, the optical nerve, I said it was coming out of the brain. Meanwhile, it was actually heading towards the brain. So that was where I got everything wrong. And so yeah, my colleagues laughed at me. Well, they didn't laugh at me, in front of me, but there were friends I had among them that they were talking to. They were saying it was so funny. I was really embarrassed, but I think it actually helped me build my confidence very much more, to the extent that I made a lot of friends through that. So yeah, but then I had a lot of embarrassing moments, but this was the first time in the medical school. Really, when I said I wasn't down, that doesn't mean I knew everything. Yeah, you know, definitely at a point you have to go to the hospital. So the time eventually came. I think I was in my first year. Now there's this point in the medical school in first year in Morocco where you'll be asked to go to the hospital. I don't even know what they wanted us to go and do over there. But some said we were just to go and see how things are done at the hospital and maybe learn some few nursing stuff like how to pinch people, how to draw blood, and yeah, which I I never did any of those. So yeah, the first time I went to the hospital, I can't remember honestly. I don't know what happened. I don't know which service I was. I mean, which department. It's service, that's how they call it in French. So I can't recollect. I'm very sorry if I can't remember. Yeah, I don't, honestly. Yeah, I think I remember now. It was the digestive department. Yeah, where we sent our phone. The first time we were all using the phone, then the professor asked us to go home because we're not supposed to use our phones. Yeah. But it wasn't very serious because hospital, we started going to the hospital and even talking to patients when we were in our third year. So yeah. Yeah, definitely it's in the third year that we started speaking to patients. So my first time I spoke with patients was problematic. Yeah, because it's actually there's this language called Derija, okay? That's the local language they speak here in Morocco. So if you can't speak that language, there's no way you are going to talk with a patient except if your patient understands French. And you don't see most French-speaking patients at the hospital because they feel like they go to the... I think they go mostly into the private hospitals, but then I think that's a question American have to answer. I don't know why I don't chance or any patient who speaks French, but I think on some few occasions I've had patients. I mean, that was after my first patient, so definitely it wasn't easy. But then I had some few friends around who came around, and then because you are supposed to talk with the patient and investigate what's wrong with the patient. So yeah, that's what I remembered I did, and then yeah, it was just that. It was just that. That's what I can remember. The first time I assisted surgery. Yeah, I remember I assisted surgery when I was in my third year. Well, when I say assisted, doesn't mean I was right beside the patient. I mean, cutting the patient up with a surgeon. I was just far behind. You should see what happens in the OR, you know. You'll be very far watching from afar. Sometimes there will be a television in there where the professor tells you a little bit of what's going on. If I remember my first time, well, as much as I want to be a surgeon, I really hate going to the OR because when I go there and I'm to stand doing nothing, it's as if time is not actually moving fast. And your legs, it's like you should fall down. So I don't like going to the OR, but the first time I went, I really feel, that was how I really enjoyed it, you know. I saw the organs vividly and I might have touched some. No, I think that was afterwards. For the first time, there wasn't a way I could touch an organ. So yeah, I think I really enjoyed it. And that was the first time. The first time was in my third year. Yeah, it was in my third year. How did you know about that? I can tell you did a lot of research. Yeah, there's this exams called, we call it toucher pervient, where you have the chance to actually touch. I mean, yeah. Well, it sounds touché, but it's not that. It's actually poking your fingers into a hole. So in this case, my first time I did toucher vaginal was when I was actually in the gynecology department. So yeah, definitely before labor happens, before actually patient give birth. Well, if you are pregnant, I don't see you as a patient because it's a good thing you are bringing a child into this world. So we normally have to check if the cervix is dilated. So I remember doing that, and also, I mean, touching the head of the baby to see if the baby is actually on the way. So yeah, I wouldn't want to talk much about it because I wouldn't say it's a pleasant experience, but yeah, I just have to leave it at that. And for the touche rectal. I never had the opportunity to do that. I think this should tell people that I've never done touche rectal before. I mean, poking your fingers into the rectum of someone, through the anus. I've never done that before, so I think where I am now, the department I found myself, this day I'm doing this video, it's actually an opportunity for me to do that. So I think I would find a way to do that. I've never done that before. Because I remember the first time I was supposed to do that, my patient was actually having HIV/AIDS. So there was no way I was doing that because it was somehow risky. So we had another method of doing that because eventually we have to examine the rectum. So we have what we call the rectoscopy. So that was how we were able to do it. So that was how we were able to do it. So I wasn't able to do the touche rectal that day. I don't know how they say it in English, but I think you should do that and put it right beside me. The touche rectal, what it's called. And then I don't know if you didn't ask me, but I should say it. I did what they call the examination of the breast for the first time, and I think my patient loved it. Let me just say that way. My patient really loved it. The first time I made an error at the hospital, definitely you can't do everything 100%. There's going to be a chance where you would mess up. So it was at the pediatrics department. I can remember it like it was yesterday. So I was actually on call, night shift. And there was this patient who had her baby on oxygen. So the baby was asthmatic, I can remember. So I was called to actually help place the oxygen mask. So when I came, I increased the pressure of the oxygen, which was really bad for the baby. So the mother watched me and was like, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, calm down, it happens all the time. But I felt like it was an error. So the woman actually had to go and call for another person to come and help out. So that was the error I remember I did for the first time. So I think your questions are enough and I really appreciate it. And next time you shouldn't always come with questions, you should also come to just really help shoot videos. So thank you, and I hope I've answered your questions to your satisfaction. Those are the first time I did certain things in the medical school. So thank you guys for actually staying with me. I really appreciate it. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do where to subscribe. And then the first time I started the YouTube channel, I'll talk about it later in another video and how it went. And if you've not click on the post notification bell, just do that so you get notified anytime I upload video, so you'll be part of the family. And finally, if you really enjoyed this video, just give me a thumbs up. And this has been it. See you guys in the next one. I know you are supposed to close, right? But I had to talk about this. So you guys check this video out. This was actually the last time I was in classroom. I just spoke about my first, so I think it's ideal for you guys to look at what happened during my last day in classroom.